All right, so Amir Mansour joins us for a couple moments with a little breaking news regarding his next opponent. Go ahead, Amir. I'll let you have the floor.
Yeah, we got an ESPN date, man, for May 8th. If Dawjeko gets past his next opponent, you know, looks like me and him going to mix it up. May 8th on ESPN.
10 rounds main event?
For sure. And hopefully, though, however, one of the top 10 guys that's right up there in the rankings with myself will stop trying to pad their record and go ahead and fight another top 10 guy and give the people, you know, what they want to see, which is top 10 fighters fighting top 10 fighters, you know?
What would you make of the Wilder-Stavern fight?
I predicted when I did an interview on Fight Hype that if Stavern came in and tried to fight Wilder the same way he fought Chris Arreola, that he was going to make it an easy night for Wilder. I guess nobody really was, you know, paying attention to that because at the time that he knocked Arreola out, Arreola was ahead on the scorecard almost the complete 8 rounds. And so that questioned Stavern's boxing ability. If Arreola outboxed you, somebody that you're supposed to be faster than, obviously stronger than, you allowed them to outbox you for 8 rounds. You're going to make it easy for a long, tall guy like Deontay Wilder if you fight Wilder the same style. And he came in there, he fought Wilder the same way he fought Arreola, and he basically was just a punching bag. So after like the 6th round, I was so disappointed, man, that I got up and went back to my room.
Well, everyone knew if Stavern was going to go straight forward, he's not a side-to-side fighter. He's not a side-to-side puncher. Granted, he had a tough chin, but Wilder just used that jab all night long, broke him down, and you're right. It was pretty easy. I want to get back to you in the heavyweight division because we always talk about it. So, again, just to confirm, to go on a record, so Joey Dawjeko fights March 6th. And I don't know if he has an opponent yet for that bout, but if he gets past...
Yeah, he got an opponent.
Okay, so if...
I don't know the guy's name, though.
Okay, so if he gets that win March 6th, then you will agree, verbally or in principle, to fight him a 10-rounder May 8th on ESPN. Now, would that be a main event?
Yeah.
All right, my 2 questions for you. It just seems to me like there's no benefit for you fighting him, and it's no disrespect to him. I don't see the benefit. Again, it's an opportunity, ESPN headline, main event, to give yourself exposure like you were doing before.
Mainly because, honestly, he's the only guy that really said, I want to fight Amir Mansour. He is the only heavyweight in the entire world that said, I want to fight Amir Mansour. The rest of these guys, when they approach to fight Amir Mansour, they turn it down. They turn it down, man. And it's crazy because these guys keep thinking, oh, I got to, you know, pad my record, or, oh, I got to get an easy opponent, and they think that they can keep fighting easy opponents and make their way to a championship title bout. They look at, we're looking at what Wilder was able to do. You know, his last fight before he fought for the world title was against a guy that I knocked out in 1 round. He finished the guy off in 5 or 6, 7 rounds.
Jason Gavin, the tune-up, Gavin fight.
Exactly. You know, we're looking at guys like him. He was able to pad his record all the way up to the world title and win the title. A lot of other guys are trying to follow suit, and this has really become the norm in the heavyweight division. Pad your record, fight a bunch of bums, and then try and get lucky and make a heavyweight title shot. This is one of the reasons, well, this is the main reason why I don't like fighting guys ranked lower than me. I always try and go after guys that's either ranked right where I'm at or ranked higher than me, so that I prove myself worthy of a title shot. I'm not into that mindset to where though I want a bunch of easy fights or anything like that. But the truth of the matter is that Joey Dawjeko is the only guy out there with enough balls to say, I'll fight Amir Mansour at this point in time. I absolutely cannot get one of these top 10 guys to fight me, man.
You give him credit because he did it in a way where I think you can respect it, where he said, yeah, I'd like to take the fight. And it is confirmed he is fighting March 6th against Ino Bang Umahete at the 2300 Arena in Philly. Look, he's 13-3, couple draws in there. He's 24 years of age. It's another Philly fighter. He's coming off really just dismantled Radford Johnson, who is more or less a journeyman fighter. It's great that you're giving this kid an opportunity, but the irony is it seems as though, I think I'm being fair about this, some of the fights that you want, you're not giving an opportunity. And I think it's because people are looking at the fight against Cunningham, where I thought you had a very good fight. We've talked about it so many times on the record, off the record, and maybe they're saying to themselves, you know what? He's a heavy puncher. He's a knockout artist, but he's not going to make a draw, where I know you would argue that.
Well, the draw part is absolutely not in the cards because I have a large follow. You understand? So the draw part isn't even in the equation. What's in the equation is that he's a knockout artist. He will knock you out if he catch you good. And the rich factor there is the biggest, part of the equation. It's not the draw part. I have a lot of fans. I have a lot of people that want to see me, fighting these guys in the top 10. Look, let's be real. Boxing fans want to see top 10 heavyweights fight top 10 heavyweights, period. It don't matter if it's Amir Mansour, Steve Cunningham, Chris Ariola, or whoever. Fans want to see us top-ranked guys fight other top-ranked guys. It's period. It's not, secluded to me. It doesn't stop at my door. It's really at everybody's door. But I'm one of the very few heavyweights that is willing to get in there with a top-ranked heavyweight. A lot of these guys, like I said, they don't want to fight nobody, man. They want to keep getting easy fights and squeeze their way into a heavyweight championship title bout. And maybe that's my gift and my curse because I have taken some tough fights early in my career and won them. Like I said, the part of the equation isn't the draw factor. I got plenty of fans.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I think they're looking at it from a standpoint where he's a, quote, just a one-trick pony, a knockout artist. And look, I think a lot of people who know boxing would argue that and beg to differ. And I know to a man, you don't believe you're just a knockout artist. When you have to throw, you have to throw. But ultimately, it almost seems like there's not enough seats at the table. When you look at the heavyweight division, you got Wilder. This is just the U.S., not abroad now. Wilder, Tarver, Jennings, yourself, Areola, Scott, Thompson, Banks. Maybe a rematch with Cunningham, who's getting ready to fight in a couple weeks. Davern. So there's no one at the table. Who can you get? Who do you want to get?
It's plenty. You just named 10 guys that's at the table.
Well, there's got to be a reason. There has to be a reason that they don't want to take the fights with you.
Because they know they're going to lose, man. It's 1 + 1 = 2. You understand what I'm saying? Like I just said, and I'm going to repeat it. Deontay Wilder's last fight before he fought for the heavyweight title was against a guy that I knocked out in 1 round. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the type of fights that these guys want to take instead of taking risky fights with guys like myself or just saying, look, we all in the top 10. We America's top 10 heavyweights. Let's start mixing it up and bring this excitement back to the heavyweight division. American heavyweight always kept this heavyweight division exciting. Nowhere else but American heavyweights. We the ones that kept this heavyweight division excited. But we got away from that because we started getting comfortable with padding our record, fighting easy fights. You understand what I'm saying? Picking and choosing easy opponents. Now, everybody's ranked and nobody wants to fight a tough guy. Nobody wants a hard fight. Nobody wants a war anymore.
How about a fight like Malik Scott? Malik Scott fought Wilder, obviously got knocked down in the first round. But, I mean, Malik Scott, he's a guy that's ranked in the top 10. I mean, is that a name?
I believe anybody in the top 10 would be a good opponent, man. But you can't go into an office and put a gun to a guy's head and say, hey, your next fight is going to be against Amir. They have to agree to it, man, willingly. You can't make them fight me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole problematic situation with me is that a lot of these guys, they just don't want to fight a top 10 heavyweight. one who, is sitting around padding his record. Now he's going to have to fight some tough fights because, hats off to the WBC who are making their champions fight the number one challenger.
Yeah.
The number one ranked guy. They're making them fight them. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
hats off to the WBC, and I hope that the other sanctioning bodies follow suit of that, man. So now you get the excitement back into boxing that people came to love, man, which is exciting fight. When you go into a fight and you don't know who's going to win because both guys are good. Both guys are great. We lost that with the heavyweight division.
Have you reached out at all for a rematch to Steve Cunningham, who's going to fight March 14th against Glasgow in Canada?
Yeah, we tried to make the fight. We tried to make the fight immediately. We tried to make the rematch immediately, and it just didn't pan out, man. Just like he can't sit there and dwell on that fight. He walked away with this decision. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't trying to revisit that type of war. He wants to move forward. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I would love the rematch and solidify, that fight right there. But at the same time, I can't stay stuck on Steve Cunningham. You know what I'm saying? Because Steve Cunningham ultimately is not going to be the one that defined my career. I am going to be the one that defined my career and what type of fighter I am. Each fight is a stepping stone. Each fight is a lesson learned. Whether you win, lose, or draw. But I can't stay stuck on trying to get the rematch with Steve Cunningham.
Two more, and I know you're getting ready to jump in there and go training again. Amir Mansour joining us, Double Jab Radio. Rich Quinones here. Just to go on the record one more time, Joey Dawjeko fights March 6th. If he wins March 6th, just to reaffirm to the listening audience, you will give him a shot at a fight, a 10-rounder that's going to be slated for May 8th on ESPN.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I'm going to assume then, if that's the case, we're looking at another 3 months. Is there a tune-up fight in your future if Joey wins to set up that May 8th fight?
Man, I wish there was. My people, man, they work vigorously, man, day in and day out, man, trying to, like I said, get somebody to step up to the plate, man. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't even really take a Joey Dawjeko fight. You know what I'm saying? But it is ESPN. It is good exposure for me. And he's the only heavyweight right now on this planet that says, okay, I'll fight him.
You got to give him credit for that.
Got to give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the worst decision he ever made, but you still got to give him credit for that.
All right, listen, bud, I know you got to get in there for a training session. I appreciate you jump on board, breaking it right here first on Double Jab Radio. Always good to catch up.
No doubt, man. Thank y'all for having me, bro.
All right, so there you have it, the reigning WBF Intercontinental Heavyweight Champ, Amir Hardcore Mansour, breaking it first right here on Double Jab Radio with Rich Quinones inside the Journeymen Boxing Studios. His next opponent will be Philly's Joey Dawjeko in a 10-round heavyweight affair. It'll be at the 2300 Arena, ESPN Friday Night Fights, May 8th, and again, that'll be the main event. However, going on the premise that Dawjeko wins his next bout, which is coincidentally at the 2300 Arena as well, March 6th. All right, so again, we appreciate Amir jumping on board, breaking the news first here. As always, don't forget to check us out online, JourneymenBoxing.com. This edition of Double Jab Radio has been proudly sponsored by Casanova Boxing Gloves, Victory Boxing Gym in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and of course, the Atlantic City PAL in Atlantic City, New Jersey. VAC PAL, always making a difference. Everyone have a good Wednesday night. Todo el mundo tiene una buena noche miércoles. And thank you for tuning in to another edition of Double Jab Radio. As always, to our amigos, our friends in Spain and Latin America listening to us online at JourneymenBoxing.com. Oh, mercy para nosotros, amigos que nos escuchan en España y América Latino. Gracias por tu tiempo. Please, please, please follow us on Twitter, RichQ1Q. Also follow our great photographer, Shirei Shogogi, at S Shogogi. Finally, remember, it's not the destination, but the journey you should enjoy. Thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you Thursday for another edition of Mas Double Jab Radio. Until then, we'll see you next time. Ringside.